Okay, so get this. You're about to board your flight out of South Korea. You know, phone's all charged up, power bank is tucked away in your carry-on. You're all set for that long flight. But,
Not so fast.
yeah?
There are some new rules that you might not know about.
Oh, really?
Yeah, South Korea's putting some brand new airline regulations into place, and you could easily get tripped up if you're not paying attention.
Oh, no. Okay, so what are we talking about here?
Well, we're looking at this article from Storm Media, which is a publication out of Taiwan.
Okay.
And it's all about these new battery and power bank rules that are coming into effect. And the crazy thing is, this all started because of a recent in-flight fire that's actually still being investigated.
Oh, wow. Okay, so let's dive right into this article then. What's the big change?
Well, the biggest change is from Busan Air,
Okay.
starting February 7th, 2025, just a few days from now.
Wow.
They're saying no more power banks in your carry-on luggage.
Oh,
Yeah, you have to carry it in your hand while you're boarding.
wow. That's a pretty big shift. I mean,
It's a huge change.
we're all used to, those warnings about no power banks in checked luggage.
Exactly.
But this is like the opposite.
It's completely flipping the script.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, how seriously are they taking this,
It really shows how concerned they are about fire risks from power banks.
Yeah. And I mean, it makes sense with that in-flight fire that you mentioned earlier.
Exactly. It's a very better safe than sorry approach.
Yeah, for sure. And to make things even weirder, they're actually putting a no battery sticker on your carry-on
I know.
once they take your power bank out.
It's a little strange.
I can only imagine the confusion at boarding,
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a
People are going to be like, wait a minute,
Where's my bag?
what's going on?
Why does it have this sticker?
Exactly. Yeah. So Busan Air they're not messing around.
No, they're not.
They're going to expand this rule to all their routes once these initial trials are done on these select flights.
It sounds like they're really committed to this.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is that it's not just Busan Air.
You're right. It's spreading.
Other Korean airlines are starting to do the same thing.
Like EastarJet.
Yeah, EastarJet, they banned power banks from overhead bins completely.
Completely. So you have to keep it with you.
Wow, so it's like a whole trend.
It's a ripple effect in the Korean aviation industry.
So even the big names like Korean Air and Asiana Airlines,
Even them.
wow.
This is
It's
serious.
a serious safety concern.
Yeah, and it makes you think, is this going to impact international regulations down the line? I mean,
That's a great question.
yeah, it's a big deal.
It is, but before we go too far down that road,
Yeah.
let's talk about what this means for you if you're flying out of South Korea anytime soon.
Yeah, let's do that because I mean, this is important stuff people need to know.
Absolutely, it could really impact your trip.
Okay, so let's say you're at the airport,
Mhm.
right? You've got your boarding pass, you're going through security, and now you have to take out your power bank.
Yep.
Put it in a separate bag.
And wait, there's more.
Oh yeah, there's a whole procedure.
This article talks about a specific packing procedure.
Right, you can't just throw it in any old bag.
So you have to seal your power bank in a zipper bag.
Right, like a little plastic baggie.
And then what, you have to cover the power and USB ports with insulated tape?
Yeah, you got it.
What is that all about?
It's all about preventing short circuits.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
But it does make you think, how are they going to enforce this?
Right? Are they going to be checking every single...
Imagine hundreds of passengers
Yeah.
fumbling with bags and tape at security.
Oh, it can be chaos.
Yeah, it could get pretty messy.
It makes you wonder, is this really the best way to deal with this risk?
Yeah, I mean, this is the most effective solution.
Couldn't they, I don't know, invest in safer battery technology or something?
It's a good point, you're right.
Instead of all this.
It's kind of like putting up a Band-Aid on a bigger problem.
Exactly.
But for now, this is what they've come up with.
Yeah, I guess so.
It really highlights how these regulations can change so quickly.
Yeah.
And usually it's in response to something like that in-flight fire we talked about.
Right. It's a good reminder that we can't just assume the rules are going to stay the same.
Nope, things change all the
Yeah.
time,
Yeah, and it's easy to get caught off guard.
especially with air travel.
So for our listener who might be, thinking about a trip to South Korea, what's the main takeaway here?
If you're planning a trip to South Korea
Yeah.
anytime soon, you really need to check the latest regulations from your airline.
Okay.
Don't just assume that it's going to be the same as your last flight,
You're right.
because this new rule could really mess up your travel plans if you're not ready for it.
Especially with power banks,
Oh yeah,
We rely on those so much these days.
especially on long flights.
I mean, they're like essential travel gear now.
Yeah, your phone would die without it.
Exactly.
But it's kind of ironic, right?
What do you mean?
We need them to stay connected,
Yeah.
but they're also a potential hazard.
Yeah, that's true when it comes to air travel.
We've seen the warnings about lithium-ion batteries for years.
Yeah.
But this incident really brings it home.
Right.
About the danger they can pose in a confined space like an airplane cabin.
Yeah, it's kind of unsettling to think about.
I know, it's a little scary.
Like a small power bank could actually cause a fire mid-flight.
It could happen.
Yeah, it's a reminder that even small things can have big consequences.
Absolutely, especially when it comes to safety.
Especially in a complex system like air travel.
Right, there are so many factors involved.
So what does this mean for the future of air travel?
That's the big question, isn't it?
I mean, is this the start of a trend?
Well, we see other countries following suit.
Are we going to see stricter battery regulations everywhere?
It's hard to say for sure.
What about new battery technology?
Yeah, will that change things?
Feels like we're at a turning point.
It really does. It's a story that's still unfolding.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out in the coming months and years.
Yeah. Are other countries going to adopt these precautions? Are there going to be international standards?
It's definitely something to watch.
Only time will tell.
Exactly.
But one thing's for sure.
What's that?
This conversation is just getting started.
Oh yeah, it's far from over.
I mean, it really makes you think, you know, we just toss these power banks in our bags without even thinking about it.
Right, it's second nature at this point.
Yeah, but who knew they could, like, change the whole landscape of air travel regulations?
Now, it's wild, right? Like this tiny little thing can have such a big impact on safety.
And in an airplane, it's a whole other level.
Oh yeah, the stakes are so much higher.
Yeah, you can't just pull over and deal with it.
Exactly, it's a confined space.
So this is a good reminder that we can't just assume things will always be the same.
Nope, gotta stay informed.
Things are changing all the time.
Especially with air travel.
Yeah. So to sum it all up for our listeners today, if you're planning a trip, you know, to or through South Korea, do your homework, check those airline regulations.
Especially for power banks.
Yeah, and anything else that runs on batteries.
Don't get caught off guard at the airport.
Nobody wants that.
Nope, it'll ruin your trip.
And this might just be the beginning.
Who knows?
This whole battery safety thing could change air travel everywhere.
It could become a global trend.
So stay informed, be prepared, and
safe travels.
Safe travels, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
谢谢收看。健康生活，关心您的生活健康。请订阅、点赞及转传。